According to the FDIC, community banks comprise only 10% of the total assets in the U.S. banking market, yet they make over 40% of the small business loans.
The community banks are good corporate citizens for the most part. I've known hundreds, if not thousands, of community bankers over my lifetime in this business, and they are some of the most civic-minded and charitable-minded people that I know. They really care about their communities. They support the local YMCA and the Little League, and they finance the local businesses. And so I think that if we were to lose our community banking system, it would be a severe blow to the kinds of communities that I grew up. I mean, I grew up in a town of 7,000 people, and I can't imagine that town without a community bank. I mean, it's so important to the fiber of the community.
Bank of the Wichitas is an example of the vital role small community banks are playing across the nation.
All of the managers of the bank, and the way I envision a community bank, is the managers have grown up in those communities. The managers that work in this community grew up in the community. They are part of the community since they were children. And in my case, I was born in this area. I was raised as a third-generation banker in this bank. My granddad moved to Mountain Park, Oklahoma, 2 miles north of here in 1927 and became president of this bank in 1943. So I am a third-generation banker in Snyder and have literally grown up with all the people in this community and genuinely care for the people in this community. And the policies of the bank and the solutions that we try to derive for the community are things that we've come up with by knowing the customers firsthand.
Well, being a rural community, everyone knows everyone. There's probably not anyone in this bank that I do not know or know their children that attend our school system. Retired school teacher, Irma, and Dean right there does all our radio for our school activities. And vice versa, they know my children as well. So I think we'd lose that personal touch. I can come in and do business here in the bank and walk back and have not only a personal conversation but a professional conversation with any officer in the bank.
The core value of Bank of the Wichitas is to provide a clean and safe place for our employees to work, but also to help our customers realize their dream, whether that dream is owning a home or to buy their own business. We want to help our customers achieve their goals.
Well, the Bank of the Wichitas has always been there for us. Everything we've ever asked them to do for us, they've done. I really think it's more their loyalty to us over the years instead of our loyalty to them.
The Bank of the Wichitas has always supplied our needs when we wanted to remodel this business, and then when we wanted to put a laundry in, we conferred with them and they decided it would be a good business decision to build a new laundry.
When the Willis family had the idea of a laundromat and putting a laundry in Snyder, which we could see was a real need in the community, I don't believe they could have gone to an outside corporate lender and qualified for a small business loan to establish a laundry in Snyder.
If the Bank of the Wichitas weren't here, I don't believe we would get the support from a big national bank that we get from them.
We've known the Willis family for decades, and we know their integrity, and we know their impact on the community with their Quick Stop before they had the idea of the laundromat, and it gave us an ability to look at that loan from a whole new perspective, a perspective that someone that did not know the Willis family could not do.
Their answer to me was, we'll take care of it, don't worry about anything. So they've been actually very, very loyal to us over the years. We'd have been out of business many times over if it hadn't been for the Bank of the Wichitas.
One thing I would look at in this picture is, our granddad is in this picture, isn't he? It's him right here.
think, yeah, he's there.
My granddad was 80 years old, but he was still very active in the bank. And one of the things that he would do is he would come in my office and he'd say, "Todd, do you know a certain person?" If my answer wasn't yes to that question, he would say, "Well, you need to get to know him." they're your customer. And so I learned early on the value of relationships in banking. It wasn't about just banking and customers, it was about relationships in the community, because he understood that you could not effectively serve your community if you didn't have a personal relationship with the people you're serving.
Being a lower socioeconomic school system, we have many families in need, and the bank came to us, and they recognize these needs.
We give back to the community because we genuinely care for the community. One of the ways we've given back to the community is starting a clothing program in our local schools. We as managers realized that we couldn't identify all the needs that the children have in the community, as well as the counselors that are in the schools. So we have a program where the counselors identify if a child doesn't have a coat during cold weather or doesn't have shoes that are appropriate for school. They know they can take that child to a local department store, buy them anything that they need, and the bank will take care of the bill.
And so the school put together a policy that we would find those needs, and they so graciously helped in meeting those needs for those families.
A community bank relies on the community just as much as the community relies on the bank. We are dependent on the community, and the community we see is dependent on us. So we feel like we're all in this together.
Tough for small business to survive anymore, it really is. And without your small town bank, most of us don't. Large banks don't look at us the same way our local small town banks do.